Good morning all. Saturday today. Put my video up last night. In case you didn't notice, I'm really happy that job is done. And I have noticed with my camcorder that I do a lot of this jumping around with the screen, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that. No one has pointed it out, but I have noticed it myself. But I'm hoping that things will change soon, as I have ordered a wireless microphone, and the purpose of that is I've got an SL camera or something like that, which I want to put on a tripod in the background, have my microphone on, and I was going to speak like I am now without my arm stretched out, and for the close-ups we'll whip the camera around as you see. Now you'll probably notice that door's gone, and it has opened that space up massively. Now we're going to put two doors in there eventually, so they both slide side by side. We sort of looked at the skylights, and I sort of said to Sue, I go, we need more light, and with these bulkheads, which are essential, they need to be in here for structure. I said, really, we're getting quite compacted up, we can't really move. So we've got rid of the doors, and we've also screwed up that panel. But we had, because I remember when I was cutting that skylight out very badly, I managed to trash the top of that piece of wood. So what I did is I cut that piece of wood out and moved it down to the bottom. I need that panel access anyway, so I can get to the roller system behind. As you can see there, I've cut a hole in there. Unfortunately, I had to put some filler over the damage, and that mucked up the dye, which I knew it would, so I had to re-dye it, but unfortunately I ain't got any more of that dye left. So we'll varnish that up anyway. We've got the light switch wire ready, so when we get to those wires there that you can see, and that one there, we can get our lights in and the light switch will be there. Put a 70-20% varnish mix over the top just to soak up. We've got to put more screws in, but that has to be removed as yet, so I've temporarily screwed that in. Eventually it will look like that side with the caps and everything. So that's the plan. So we're going to let that dry off, and then we'll do a, what will we do? Shall we do a 50-50 mix and see how long that takes to dry? We just got to trim off some of the glue. Now I've got some knives that I can do that with, and see where we end up with it. Excuse me. You're probably not going to see it, but that's a 50-50 mix. I want one more coat on that bulkhead, then we can call it a day on that. That one there has already got 3 on, but I've had to pull the slide out in because of weather. We've got rain coming, and with that seal doing what it's doing, I stand a better chance of not getting water in here by pulling it in. But I did do a bit of a trim up. I don't know if you can see that, because that wouldn't fit because I made the thing so big. So we trimmed up that bit of step. What I need to do is to get this room finished and then clear everything out, because there's just too much rubbish in here now. Half of what's in here don't need to be in here anymore. Then I need to open all the windows up, get an airline in here, and just literally blast with some air and try and get rid of all of this muck that's floating around, and there is a lot. Maybe turn the hoover on at the same time and just let that pick up the ambient dust, you know, what's in the air. I've also dedusted that. I've scratched this up a bit in places, so I'm going to go over that again. No big deal. Could do with another coat anyway. And that is it for today, really. The work continues. Got some battens and plastic tongue and groove. Really expensive for what it is, 40 odd quid, and you only get what, 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets, I think. 1, 2, 3, yep, 4 sheets, 4 mingy sheets. So I've got 2 packs of those that will just about get one wall done, I hope. We've got another 3 more packs to purchase. This is getting expensive. That's the room that's being done, but we've got a mystery on our hands here which is driving me up the wall. Look at that. Water. Right, broom is over the top to where it is. We'll go up. and that's where it's coming from, apparently. I don't know what's going on here, because I can't find the leak anywhere. There's no leak underneath, there's no water running down here, there's nothing on the roof, because I would expect it to come off of there and then drip down to there, but there isn't. There's no staining on the ceiling. Right, we did have a leak yesterday, at least that's what I thought it was, but then when I went up there, I couldn't find one. I just found the wood was wet, so I carved all this out this morning, and absolutely no water behind there whatsoever. So my conclusion is, I think the water's leaking through these bolt holes. That's what I think's going on. So what I will do later on, when the weather's better, because now is not the time to be doing it, I'll unbolt those, get this glass out, clean this surface up completely so I can get a good seal, see if I can rejuvenate that rubber, because it's a little bit old. I don't know what to use. If you've got any suggestions, I'll be grateful. And then we'll grease up those bolts and grease inside there as well, and see if we can't seal it. And what I'll also do, just as a gap stop, I'll get some black sealant, because these are open end rivets that have been holding this in, apart from adding a couple more hinges. Oh, hang on, no, I don't know what's going on whatsoever. I'll cut this wood out wider, because we've got a piece of wood to go over and we've got more wood to go on the roof anyway, so it's neither here nor there. So I'll seal up behind there all the way around those rivets to see if I can stop, in case it's the rivets. I don't think it is the rivets. I genuinely think it's those, because on that side we had a leak and it was coming from the outside edge here. It was dripping down in here. No, was it? No, sorry, it was coming from the inside edge. Or was it? I can't bloody remember. Oh, something really suspicious is going on. So, as for that drip down there, I have no idea where that's come from. There is no evidence of a leakage on that ceiling whatsoever. There's nothing under here. Look, nothing. Bone dry. Absolutely bone dry. Bone dry. Bone dry. Right. Okay. The tray has got to go in here. I've marked out where the plug hole is going to be. So we're just going to cut a square out there, in that area. We're going to sand down lumps like this, because we need that shower tray to sit smoothly and flush to the wood. A line has been drawn here that I'm going to follow. Here's the problem. The shower tray, because of that, mainly that, I've had to bring the tray further out. And the plug hole is also another issue, because we've got the beams running underneath there that connect to the seals, and the steel work is awfully close. So I actually brought this forward one board more than I originally planned. I mean, originally it was going to be on that line there. So that left me with a problem. So I've got a big gap going at the back, and you'll see what I mean when I start putting this together. So, well, it's just a lightweight frame to hold everything in place. The main structure is actually the boarding that gets put on, but we've got some cross braces there, we've got one down there, there's another two more to go in along here, and then up in this space here is a piece of ply at some point, so I can put the shower unit, or the shower head and frame in. I haven't got full headroom in here, I'm a little bit too tall for this, but that's just one of them things. The little old girl is a little shorter than me, so she should work well in here. I'm just going to have to hunch me back a little bit. So yeah, I'm happy with the way this is going. What we'll do is we'll finish these two braces off, and then tomorrow we'll come out and we'll start putting the stuffing in. That's good enough for what I need. So next, clad up the inside, get that sorted, and then we'll move on to putting the plastic in place that we bought. Got quite a lot of it, but I just don't know how far it will go. I'm not expecting it to go very far. And there's going to be a fair old bit of waste, so I need to find another use for the waste, because I really don't want to have to throw it out. Lincoln stuff it everywhere, don't it? Well, that's the insulation in. So we're letting that dry now, cure off a little bit better than what it is. And we'll start with the laminate. I don't want to put that plastic on just yet while everything is still very sticky, because it will get everywhere and I'll have a nightmare of a job trying to remove it while it's in its sticky case. So yeah, if we push those back down, that will flatten the stuff off, you see, and help stick that to the wall. That's the general idea. Trying not to get my finger caught in it because it's just muck. Ugh, hate it. Horrible stuff. So yeah, we'll start here and we'll work our way around. Actually no, I think what I need to do is I need to cut that shower tray down first. Like that, so far. The tray is going to have to be cut to fit, so right, that's as far as I can take it at the moment, because I have run out. I would have got that a little further had I not broken the one that's over there. I don't think I can trim that up. I think that's too damaged. So what I will do tomorrow is cut the shower tray to fit. I'll need to give myself enough room to get 2 pieces of plastic each side of that post that I'm going to put across. And I'll build that piece out and pretty much go from there, really. Just sort of standing here late at night, it must be what, 11:30, thinking to myself what a big chunk of real estate sits in front of my staircase at a very peculiar angle, I might add. I altered this side but I didn't alter that side, but that's not what I'm talking about. You see the lines on the floor? That represents where that slide out will sit. Unfortunately, the table is actually, as you can see, in front of the doorway. Yeah, you can see where this is going. I've got a hinged door going on there. I don't think there's going to be enough room for that to open. So we may have to go with a sliding door. That's not such a bad thing, other than the fact that there'll be a gap there, which means all the noises, all the smells, everything. Oh, good morning, Thursday. Check was cleared, bought some more of this stuff, another £80 burnt. It's not joking, they're 40 something pounds for 4. They're really expensive, I think they are anyway, but for what they are. So yeah, tray is laid in, not quite where it needs to be, so we're gonna, I think it's a case of, instead of trying to make the walls fit the tray, we're going to make the tray fit the walls. We've got a nasty gap over there, and we've got an overlap here because the door is unsquare and I followed the door shape, which I shouldn't have done. Never mind. Some very bad sealing going on over there. I can't do that for toffee. I'm going to buy a device when it comes to sealing that in properly, I think. So yeah, we're going to cut that piece over the back to try and push that further in, because you can see where the plug is going, it's not quite centre. Once we've got that in, I'm then going to cut a batten for the back of the shower, and I'm going to use my offcuts of plastic, glue that all in, screw that down to the floor. The tray will stay in situ once I cut the plug hole out, and we'll then finish off the rest of the walls. I'm really pleased with the way that liner has gone in, the linings have gone in. I've spray foamed all the gaps, so hopefully we won't get condensation issues, because even the steel bar that runs across the top there is completely coated in polyurethane. I literally cut it in it because it left hollows, and I then filled the hollows up, and that's about as best as I can get it, to be honest. Made a hell of a mess. We squirted it down there in that bottom gap, and it's tight, it's good. Pleased with that. We'll get that window frame out today as well, so we can put the plastic and cut out. Once we've done that, and we've got the rest of it laid up, and I'm a bit concerned about this post, as I spoke about. I'm very concerned about it, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. But we'll put the blind back in as well, and in a couple of weeks time we'll then start thinking about the ceiling, which is going to be plywood. That's all I really think we need in here. I don't think we need anything else. And then I can start concentrating on the outside. We've got right, it's cladded all round. Quite chuffed with that. So the window is a bit of an issue because this stuff is so wide, it keeps popping this up. So what I'm going to have to do is run some brass or something, a bit of old copper pipe, which I'll flatten down and then run that round and screw that down just to compress that a bit better. And I need to do it because the edges on this window didn't go so well. This stuff's horrible to cut, it really is. I've left the gap down there. We're going to put the shower in a minute, cut a hole out for a plug, a big old hole. We're just going to clear everything out now, give it a quick hoover, get all the muck up, and then we'll put the oh, I'm a bit annoyed there. Bugger. I don't know if you can see the dust on that sealant. I knew I should have left that until tomorrow. Never mind. We'll see if we can scrub that off with white spirits at a later date. But anyway, we'll get that shower sealed down and go from there. It's Friday tomorrow. I want to upload, so the walls are nearly finished. Still got that issue. Ugh. You wonder why that bare bit was at the back. Well, that was because the shower tray, as I've already explained, possibly not, doesn't quite reach the wall. So to save on wall slabs, I cut one in half to do that because I had loads of offcuts. But here's the thing, I didn't need to do that because I have one left over. Typical, isn't it? So I could have gone straight to the floor. But there you go, it's kind of what it is. So tomorrow, I'm exhausted. Tomorrow I'm going to cut some of that wood. I've got some of that left over. I'm going to make a shelf there and a panel that rides up. Paint them, possibly white, possibly not, I don't know yet. I'd like to varnish that bit of floor, but I can't help feeling that maybe it'd look better if it was white. But you can't walk on it, it's too sticky, that paint. So I might get some polyurethane floor varnish for that and do the same in that. So I'm still more work to do on here. I've got to put another batten in front, which is also going to be varnished, and then we've got to lay the bit on top and a piece down the side, and then we're going to trim this piece up. There's one bit left. We're going to put that in there to reinforce that, and I deliberately cut up, but I didn't. Well, I say I deliberately cocked it up. I didn't deliberately cock it up as bad as I have, but I wasn't looking for accuracy because I want to put a piece in front of that as well to reinforce this piece here. Then it's just a question of sanding down and working out what we're doing on the ceiling. I might actually cut that stuff off up there. I've got loads of offcuts, loads of those, and I might do a row of them along there, and then with the one piece I've got left, cut it and then have a strip go that way, a strip go that way with all the little pieces meeting in the middle. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing, but it's fixing it to the ceiling is going to be the trick. Sorry, I didn't have the camera on it. Because that could easily fall down, and I'm running out of polyurethane. That's the only thing I've found so far that's grabbed it and kept it there, and it's fully waterproof, that stuff, fully waterproof. So that's it at the moment. I'm not doing no more. I'm pooped, I'm pouring with sweat. It's freezing cold outside, but in this van with the sun beaming in here, it's lovely and warm in here. Too warm. I'm hot. Didn't think I'd hear myself swearing about that. Yeah, I'm hot. Morning guys, it's Friday today. Found some pine that matches the floor, which we're going to varnish up. So we're going to fill all the gaps with some polyurethane glue just to take up the spacings, and eventually that will be varnished. On this final day before upload, we're going to put those two pieces of wood in. What we're going to do is we're going to take the tongue off on one side here, the groove off the other, and then we're going to do what we did on the table on the edge, round it off. On that one, not that one. That one's going to go in dead flush so I can get some sealant behind it, and we're going to glue that one to the side, but we're just going to straight screw that one because at a later date I'd like to be able to get access to the underside of this area for storage. Possibly something comes to mind later on that I think will be useful, then I'd like to do it. The curtain is going to be fixed up to there where that gap is, where that join there is, and that will come round and it will go across to here. So the curtain will sit behind that, and if I can find some more of this, I'll run another piece along here when I've done the battening up here, and that'll act as a sort of a trough in a sense, so the curtain will sit behind that, but we've got to step over to get in. So today is those two, possibly that one, these battens each side if I have enough wood left over, and then we're calling it. They're in. Simple bits of pine. I was going to curve the end over, but I changed my mind. Suddenly dawned on me that I have a wife that might sit there and say, Sean, can you put some bottles in the bathroom for cleaning and all the rest? And okay, so we might end up making a rack over the top of that as yet. So, not an issue. I thought I'd leave that flush, just in case. We've just got to put sealant all the way around it, but we'll do that once we put some varnish around it and stained it. That one's pre-fixed already, that one is loosely fixed. Floor's got to be sanded as we spoke about. So next on the agenda is the pieces of wood to go on the inside, mainly so I can use longer screws on the hinges and give me a bit more stability, because I haven't got that. I have on this one, but I still want it doubled up. Same with that one. Then we've got to sit there and think whether we're going to do anything on the floor down there. I think we need to do something, because if I don't, water is going to come flying over that, guarantee it. I could even go as far as putting Velcro strips on the bottom of the curtain, and then Velcro on a piece of wood, and then we could Velcro the curtain in place. The other one is we could get a glass door, so we could curtain that side but glass door this side, so that swings across. Showers going up there on that wall there, hence that undeveloped piece of wood this side. Okay guys, I cannot do any more to this now until I get some more bits and pieces together. I have now run out of this pine, all gone. I had to cut a piece of oak out, which I'm going to be painting up, so I'm not worried about that going black. Oak does that. Silla's in, side is in, shower's in, stuck down. Haven't done the roof yet, that comes later. You can see that that's in place, that's in place, that's all neatened it all off. I've got to do a little bit more work down there, but I've decided to leave that for the moment because I've got to sand the floors down. I've sealed all the gaps and cracks, just ready really to sand back, and then we've got to put a frame around that to tidy that up, and then we can sort the door out. So next video is going to be the toilet. We're going to fit that toilet. I'm going to solely dedicate that toilet to that one video, so you're going to see me, hopefully if I don't cock it up, cut the hole out, put the doorway in on the other side, and physically seat the toilet down to the ground. I may have to sand that floor back first, put at least 2 coats of varnish on it to get a key, and then put the toilet down, screw it down, and then mask around everything and complete the varnish work. Although I did say I was going to put floor varnish down. This stuff that I'm using does scratch very easily. So we're also going to stain that all up as well. Once we do the floor, we'll do them and get those tidy. We'll clean up all the sealant, and hopefully then the woodwork will be done, so I can then put more sealant on because of the dust issues, as you saw there. Look, it was still wet and dust hit it, and now it's mucked it up. So yeah, that'll be the next video. The video after that will be the exterior finally coming together. All this lot gets sanded down, plywood, wallpaper gets put in position, the trims get put on. I've got a couple of boards left that I'm going to slice up. We'll do that, and then we'll do all the plumbing. That'll be the 4th video, putting all the plumbing in place. And I'd also like to clear this back end out completely and get the pump fitted. We've got the inlet tank already in, so it'd be nice to be able to get some power to the pump and have a shower that's working, but I don't know if that'll happen because we've got to get the taps sorted out as yet, and I haven't even purchased those, so we'll see. But we definitely can get a shower curtain in place. We can definitely get the fitting for the shower put in place, but maybe not plumbed. I don't know. You'll just have to keep tuning in. Also next week I am going to take the cover, the front chain cam cover off the Rover V8. I'm also going to drop the sump. I need to do some investigating to find out what is what with that. I had a text message sent to me from a viewer, Dan, and it was brought to my attention that I really don't know what I'm doing, but that's not how he put it, it's how I'm putting it, because I wasn't aware that, because I actually forgot that the oil pump's on the wrong side. So we could have some issues there, and I need to open that all up and see what's what. So I might drop my crank out. If it can be machined, I'll send that off to an engineering shop down the road from me, actually, who does racing engines. They know their stuff, they're really good, and see if they can't engineer whatever it is that's got to be engineered, and I haven't a clue at the moment till I pull it all off. So thank you very much for viewing. Please press the share buttons and share, and please press the like buttons, please, because that really does help, and it makes me happy and makes YouTube happy. It means the channel will get shared more with YouTube itself, and I could really do with this channel growing. And at the moment I'm losing subscribers now. I should be on near 500, and I'm actually now starting to drop. I think it's the rat rod that's causing that, because I haven't done anything on it lately. I had 100 subscribers in 1 week. Somewhere, somehow, don't know, shared the rat rod build. So I'm sitting there stagnant on 200 views for the best part of 2 years, and then all of a sudden it just went mental. 9.9k views, and the last one I did on the starting of the engine was 1 point something k views, with shed loads of like buttons pressed, and I love that sort of thing. So we will do another one of those next week. If the weather's good, I'll get underneath it and we'll do some more work to that. So again, thank you very much for your time and patience, and we'll see you next week. Take care.